Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil and today we're with Liv and we are going to go at calves. It's the first time I've done anything with cattle in quite a while. Well, as in a video, I'm working with the cattle pretty much every day unless we're busy at silage or something. But anyways, first job we have to do, we have 4 calves here. We're going to put on, move across to this side where we have Ben and Jerry. That is our 2 limousine bull calves. That look, we put them back there and we give them a bit of milk. Just my father wasn't over happy with them, so I give them a bit of milk and they were the same. We actually what was out here originally was the last of the cattle to come off the feeders. Didn't go on too well with some of them. We had a few casualties out there, but that's the reality. The last calves that you always take off milk are always the worst, and it's just part of farming where you have livestock, you have dead stock, and it's just what happens. But anyways, we have to move them. One of them is blind, has a very bad case of pink eye that we're treating with antibiotics and blue spray and that, but so far hasn't made any real improvement. So anyways, we'll line up our gates and we'll move them across. So you can see the grass out here. It's absolutely perfect grass for the calves, just pure leaf, absolute pure leaf. So this is where the calves would have been coming out on from the feeder onto out here. It's just perfect, so it is. So Liv is trying to call. The blind calf is the Angus there, and the calf has got used to coming to us when we call because we give the calf milk, but it's just unfortunate now. Hopefully now the calf, we get the calf's sight back, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, no, where are you off to, Sucky? Come on. So I'll just put down the camera and I'll just lead this calf a bit better. Come on. Come on, up. Off you go, come on. Shh. Come on. You'd have to go that way, wouldn't you, Sucky? Come on. Come on. Shh. Where are you off? Up. Go back. Good, Sucky. No. That's them out there. So there's Ben and Jerry out there. We'll have a look when we're walking out. The reason for moving them is the next job is to go bring in one of our batches of calves for to get dosed for worms, and there's a couple of calves on it need to be taken out of the main batch just to get a bit more care and attention, just more meal and that, not getting, so they're not being bullied. That's one of the downsides to having them in big groups, is that small calves or calves that just aren't going ahead really do fall back, and we just want to take them out, put them on some real good grass and make sure that they can catch up with the rest of them. So that's why we moved them. But anyways, we'll show up these gates and we will bait on and go get the next bucket of calves into the yard. So we're just in our greenhouse. Oh, Liv is on the warpath with slug pellets. So we're just in the greenhouse, give you a bit of an update because we're just on our way down to where the calves are. So yeah, excuse the mess, we never really got it fully tidied out, but we've tomato plants here doing fierce well. We've watermelon here doing well too. They're just starting to pull up some flowers. Don't wet me. It comes off all the time. Oh, I'll fix it, turn it off. I fix it every day. Yeah, we have cucumbers at the back doing well. Our sweet corn is doing very well. Soon going to outgrow its base. More tomato plants in here doing well. Squash is at the back of our plants there doing well, and peppers behind that, isn't it? Yeah. Who's your man that you watch on the BBC that said Monty Don to plant your squash with your maize? He said plant them in the middle. Ah, well, it's near enough the same thing. So yeah, that's the reason we planted them beside each other, was because of Monty Don. So anyways, we'll go get the calves when Liv is finished walking. So now here we are with our calves on, as we call it, the shrubbery. So we have 3 batches of calves and what's on the lawn in 2 batches of 80, and this batch is just over 60 in it. And yeah, this is the last batch of calves that went out, so the worst of what we have is in here, so we want to take them away. It's one of the problems with having them in a large batch is as I said before, the lesser calves just don't get fair play in a big batch of calves, so we have to take them away. But we're going to bring them in through the castle, into the yard, dose them all for worms, give them injectable bisomectin, take out the calves we want. But the biggest job we're going to have now is getting all these calves up here to have the run of the place. Just not, it's kind of just what happened. I wasn't out the day they took down the fences and gave them the whole lot, so we're going to take them off this paddock. We're going to top it. The bulls, which are just out there, they've one more move, and then we'll let them out into here to clean this up after it's been topped. The bulls will go into the yard, we'll dust them, and then we'll redispatch them with the trailer the other side of the river below the calves that's on the bridge field. So yeah, we gotta round up all these calves. So how we gonna manage this? Hi! Six! Six! Hi! So we're at the back of the batch of calves now, so run them up. As you can see, it's lots of tronies, lots just typical of what calves do when they go onto a meadow. We were paddocking them on the way down, but my father decided that there's so many calves, they needed more space, and every time I wasn't with him, he took down a fence and gave them more when I wanted to try and keep them tight to get them teeth out a bit better. But oh, look it. We'll take them off it now. We'll try and get it topped, get them tronies topped. There's quite a few docks on it, get them topped, and then the bulls will come out here, clean it off, eat it good and tight, and it'll be ready then for calves in about 2 weeks time. So we'll get these lads off this now, which is going to be the biggest challenge. Come on, suckies, come on. Shh. I know, come on. Hush them, Liv, hush them. Come on, Bertie, get around them. Bertie, you're supposed to be a farm dog. Come on, suckies. Through the gate. Come on. Shh. I think that's them all there, isn't it? Come on, suckies. Shh. Come on, suckies. Come on. Shh. So we're just inside the castle now. There's the castle, or what's left of it. So we're just inside the castle walls. So now we have to get them through the yard up there. Also, you may notice we got a little bit of digging work done here, just grading the stone off the land, the bit that was on it, just leave it a little bit better. We're planning on putting an orchard into this square here where the calves are literally standing there now. My grandfather used to have an orchard throughout the whole of the castle, all of it, covered in trees and fruit bushes and that, and my father wants to try and put it back into that, or some of it. But anyways, yeah, we'll see if we can get these lads rounded into the yard. It's always interesting when you get cattle into the castle, because it's like a roundabout. They can just keep running around the middle bit. So we'll try and get them in. So now, calves just going in. Come on, they're going into the yard. So just one thing, just I'll say before we get into the yard, our yard isn't very tidy at the minute. It's quite dirty. We are literally just in the middle of our summer tidying, clean out. It's, oh, live behind you. It's just now that we're into the middle of July, waiting for second. There's actually 2 of our second cusses come in today for later on in the week. But we're in that kind of a lull at the minute. Bits of baling, reseeding and stuff going on, and in between all the different bits of work that we'll be doing, contracting that, we're concentrating on getting our yard tidied, getting our sheds cleaned out, and literally getting ourselves tidied up after the winter. And we're literally just starting into that. I've been spreading dung the last, fuck it, that gate's closed. I've been spreading dung the last couple of evenings, and every half hour I get a chance to go out with a load so we can get ready to clean out our sheds, so then we can get power washing, so then we can wash down our yards, and the place will be tidy then, starting into the grain, which won't be long coming around. But anyways, yeah, just to explain, the yard isn't over tidy because we're just in the process of starting to clean up after the winter. So anyways, we go load these up into the chute and get an injection into them for worms. Come on, Sucks, in you go. Come on, come on.
You keep on the gate and I'll go in.
All right, you're going to push them into the chute, yeah. Right. So what we're using to inject the calves, Bisomectin Plus, not sponsored or anything, this is just what we're using, an injectable dose for fluke and worms, or is it just? Yeah, no, fluke and worms. But we're only dosing for worms, so we'll go with the lesser rate. I have another bottle there, if I can find it. There it is there. So that one is nearly empty. So I have here our doses. Dose is 1 ml per 50 kilos. What do you reckon they are?
100.
Yeah, 100 to 150 kilos is roughly what they'd be. So that's 3 ml. So the calves will get 3 ml of this. So injectable. Set my gun, tape this to my arm, away we go. Down somewhere. Or am I just going to
You
rip
just
it
rip
off?
off.
Yeah. Liv was being very generous when she putting it on, and she decided instead of wrapping it around my sleeve to wrap it around my arm.
Better grip.
Oh! Jesus Christ!
Rip it. It's easier.
Oh, my arm! Look, you're enjoying that, aren't you? So we're just on the second batch of calves in the chute. So we're using Bisomectin injectable subcutaneous, which is under the skin.
Subcutaneous.
Subcutaneous. We have a little stub needle, which is great for the job. You literally just pinch a bit of skin, shove it in, and it doesn't go too far in. It doesn't go through the skin when you push it in. Very easy job. The setup we have with the automatic syringe is great. It just makes this job so much easier and faster. One of the reasons why we're dosing for worms now is calves have ridiculously poor resistance to worms, particularly lungworms, and lungworms can cause hoose pneumonia in the calves when they get too bad. You know, if your calves are starting to get bad with hoose, they start doing a lot of coughing outside. This batch actually we had trouble with. We didn't get, with hoose pneumonia, we didn't get our first worm dose in time. Partially just the way the weather fell, it left us busy. But when you go from a dry spell to a wet spell is when the worm burden will get really high in your cattle, in the calves. And that's when you really need to hit them. We dose every 4 to 5 weeks to try and keep the calves right. I know I do debate with myself, is it too much with times? But if we ever go 6 weeks without a dose, you can be guaranteed we'll start getting calves coming down with hoose pneumonia. Because of the type of ground we have, which is wet, low-lying land, it is particularly bad for worms and the worm burden. But anyways, so yeah, we didn't get her dose out in time at the start of the year, and with the way the weather fell with the dry May and then went wet, after a prolonged dry spell, the worm burden is always at its highest, which is when you really need to be watching what you're doing. And this isn't easy with the calves running by each other and whatnot. Make sure I get the right ones done anyways. What other things that we do when we are dosing? We never use the same dose twice. So the first dose we used Endospec, which is a drench, an oral drench, and this time, as you can see, we're using an injectable. And the next time, which will be just before our what we call the pre-harvest dose, will be a pour on. And the way it works is your drench has a very high kill on the day you give it to them. Your injectable has a high kill, but it kind of prolongs over to the 28 days, and your pour on is your least effective but is your easiest to administer. To do the drench and to do this, the cattle have to go through the yard, but to do the pour on, we can do them in the field at the trough when we're feeding them. And that's what we'll do later on, or as our next dose, when we'll be busy with the grain harvest. So we always change it up. We always change up what we dose with to try and keep the resistance in the worms down, that they don't become over resistant to any of what we're using. And yeah, that's really, I don't know, can I say much else about dosing calves, but it is a very important thing, because the calves are very susceptible to lungworms and getting hoose pneumonia. And I can tell you now, hoose pneumonia is if you absolutely decimate calves, so it does absolutely decimate them. And what other things? Well, if you get a high worm burden in the calves, when you go and dose them, if you hit them too hard and it kills all the worms in them, that can end up poisoning them. Or in the case with it is lungworm, and whose the dead worms will block up their lungs, and you just end up with a nightmare situation. So it is, especially for us, it is vital to keep on top of the dosing. So anyways, we'll get our next batch done, and also when we get the calves all out and done, that's when we're going to divide them up and then decide where we're going to go with them. So we have our 6 calves taken out that we're going to take out. There's 65 in the batch, so it's not 10% that is bad, and it should be okay. So I just got some mineral booster just to give them something. And look at it, when you have calves like that, you give them everything you can just to see can it help them out. But the main reason normally that this happens to calves is bullying in a larger batch. You just don't get to the meal. That, and they're probably, if I was to look up my records, they're probably calves that all had pneumonia when they were in the shed. And it just always carries on. Always carries. So we just give them a little bit of a mineral booster, and hopefully that will help put them back on their feet. Now we're walking in the calves, one avenue into the other, to go in the gate, to go out there where we moved them calves earlier. One of the calves sat down in protest, so we carried them out and we just left them, carried them across the wall and left them down over there. There's nothing major wrong. It's just sat down in protest, just sat down. It's not the worst calf on it, that's the worst calf on it. But yeah, he just sat down in protest, so we just carried him across. Where are you going? In there. Because we want to keep them separate from them, so that we can give them more meal. Because them calves that side are doing well. So anyways, we'll let them out here, and it is one of the things with managing calves. You always need to be, if you see a calf starting to fall back, you need to be on top of it. You need to be taking them out, you need to be putting them somewhere where he has better grass, where he's less competition to get to the meal trough, so you can mind him better and get him over his little hiccup. And that's one of the biggest things. And of the 2 other batches we have left, one batch there's not a bad calf on. The very first batch of calves that come off the feeder, they're 110%, absolutely flying it. The second batch, which I was kind of hoping we get to today, we're not going to, it's just gone a bit late. Yeah, never mind. But the second batch that I was hoping to get to today, but we're not going to put them in the yard and dust them. We have about the same, maybe 4 calves, silly calf, maybe 4 calves to take out of that. How are you doing? Yeah, you put it in the right way. So about 4 calves to take out of that, and the rest then are okay. So we just have just them little few that just have to be minded, and that's it. But anyways, it's just starting to rain now, so we'll go back out to the others, put up our fences and go let them out, and we'll come back out with a jog of meal to them. And yeah, make sure you space them out enough. Where, Bertie? Bertie! Go with the barley, you. Anyways, that's our barley. Yeah, there's a couple of bits of wild oats in it, don't mind that, but it's coming on fierce well, so it is fierce well. Now 3 weeks now will tell a tale, so it will, because as it stands, all our crops at home, I don't know what's out there, 30-40 acres is going for crimp, or that's what we're thinking of at the minute. Anyways, so we're just after putting up a fence there, because we like paddock grazing here, even though we can't really paddock graze this bit of ground because the drinker is in that corner and there was never enough pipe and got to go the rest of the way. But anyways, so this is what the calves are coming down to. Lovely thick leafy grass, just fresh regrowth, so it is. The bulls were down here, the bulls are off this. How long? Oh, not that. They went from here to the clump to the well. Oh yeah, they were over there. Yeah, so The bulls have been off this maybe a week, a bit more than a week, week and a half, and this is the regrowth that's on it. So we'll move them calves. It's always good to give the calves fresh moves. It kind of breaks the cycle of the worms as well, keeping them moving onto fresh paddocks and not leaving them sitting too long on the one paddock can help reduce the worm burden on the land and in the calves. So they'll be moving down here, and they'll have lots of lovely grass here, and then we'll be able to give them the upper square then when they have this bit of hay. And that, so yeah, we go get them brought down now. Tracks, if you're wondering, going up. I've been putting out dung, at the minute I'm putting out dung on ground that either the calves or the bulls are after eating, putting dung out to try and reduce the amount that's in the pit, so we have space to clean out the sheds, and just to give the old paddock and ground a bit of a fertility boost. We haven't really done it, it's been a long time since we really put out dung before on our paddock and ground, so hopefully now it'll give it a good old boost. And I put out light, so hopefully as well it doesn't cause any issues when it comes around to grazing it again with the grass being dirty, but it shouldn't, provided it rains, it shouldn't be a problem. But anyways, we go let out these calves. So what you're just after seeing there was where the part of the title comes into play, ended in disaster, or the disaster element comes into play in the video. And we're just here now with the calves back out in the field eventually. They're just taking shelter. There's literally just after being a miller, literally a cloud burst, heavy rain for about 5 minutes, and it's gone again. So they are looking a bit wet and it's a bit mucky, but never mind that. Anyways, so what happened was, when me and Liv went to bring them, head them for this pass that I'm just standing on now to bring them down to this field, they got away on us. And that's, I had literally just hit the record button as I've seen them just end up, they just went the wrong way. They got under a wire and they just gone. And I literally, I hit the button, I hit the button again, but I kept recording anyways. While I run after them, and they ended up running into the dung pit, and I tried stopping them, but they just, you stood and you could shout and roar and get in their way, but they kept running by me and up onto the dung pit. All, I know there's 60 something of them. We did well, we did manage to get some of them stopped, but a lot of them went up on it, and then we had to go around and up the walls of the dung pit and try and pushed them back, but they just kept going in further. Oh, nightmare, absolute nightmare. We just could not get them to get down off the dung pit when they got up on it, and we had to get help then. They were just after, they were just bringing home the last of the turf. My father and my mother and my sister and my brother and all them, they all come in then, and we eventually were able to get them off. All the calves, they were all fine, everyone was fine. We got them out here and they haven't looked back since, so they haven't. They're doing well now after getting their dose. So yeah, you can see them there. They're not lost in them, just taking shelter after the heavy shower, and the place is just starting to get wet now. They're just about, the fence we put up, that's been taken down. It's been over a week, I'm not exactly sure when it happened. It's a while. I'm pretty sure it's over a week now at this stage, but they've got the top end of that, so they're nearly ready for a move. So we'll be moving them on to the paddock, or the field out there, we'll split it off and create a paddock at the bottom for them. But yeah, there's not a loss in them. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. So what started off as supposed to be a straightforward video ended in, I suppose disaster would say something major happened, but they were all okay after it. It just was a nightmare for us because it must have taken us a good hour to get them down off the dung pit. And our dung pit was our old silage pit, so like it's a big pit. Oh, just a nightmare, absolute nightmare. But anyways, all the cattle are okay, and I suppose we're just going to leave it at that for this video. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's been a while since I've done a cattle video, so I hope you enjoyed it. There's going to be a few more coming up. in the next couple of weeks is what do the calf watch, watch all the calves, probably do a bull watch or something, look at all the older stock, and also we'll be dosing bulls and moving. I'll try and do a little bit more on that. And so yeah, that's it from me. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Check out the description down below for merchandise, PayPal link and all that other fun stuff that I do put in there. That is it from me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck.